What? What? Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline. You can find me over on Instagram as @JacquelineSalem. You can subscribe to this channel down below. If you just hit the bell, you'll get notifications. And today I am coming to you with a haul video of sorts. Typically hauls are not something that I do on this channel or that I really even do personally, but COVID has really changed the way that I shop for fabric now. So it used to be that whenever I would want to start a project, I'd go to the garment district or to Joann back in the day. And back in the day meaning when I had access to Joann. I wish I still had access to a Joann. But I would go to the garment district, have a pattern in mind, and then pick out fabric for that specific project. When it comes to knitting, I'm still very much that way because Brooklyn General and Argyle Yarn Shop are so close to where I live. Argyle is actually within walking distance that I can still shop for yarn that way, but because I'm not commuting into the city for work anymore, I'm not really close to a fabric shop that has the kind of fabrics that I need for my projects. So I now kind of shop for fabric, or starting this year, have been placing bulk orders of fabric and then sewing through that order and then placing another order, sewing through that order, so on, so on, etc. I have a few favorite spots that I like to shop for fabric online, so I tend to return to those shops again and again because I know kind of have a better sense of like what I'm looking for now compared to when I first started sewing and what different fabrics mean, so to speak. Things that you kind of only get after you have a little bit of background knowledge into what different fabrics are, because it can truly make or break your project. So if you are just starting out, I highly recommend shopping for fabric in person because you can kind of tell those qualities so much more when you're actually feeling the fabric. But once you kind of dip your toes into fabric shopping and know what the names of them are, it's a little bit easier to shop online for me than it previously was. That's not to say that I'm still not hit with surprises, like things like color especially and accuracy are not always premium when you're ordering online. Anyway, fabric haul. So I got one of my first fabric orders in for the fall. I placed two this time. I had one with fabric.com and one big one with Blackbird Fabrics, which is another one of my absolute favorite fabric stores. Let's get into the haul. I'm going to show you the fabric.com order that I got. I also ordered one thing from Mood because there was a particular fabric that I wanted, but I couldn't find it on fabric.com or Blackbird Fabrics. I will say I don't typically shop at Mood, so I can't say that I recommend them. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about Mood, so I've only been there like twice in person, but I shopped online and it was a great experience. And the piece that I ordered, so I'd say it's a little bit oranger than I was expecting. I was expecting something more in the rest category, but it's okay. This is a pre-pleated chiffon. And I've been wanting to order pre-pleated chiffon for a long time to dupe a Cezanne skirt that I have seen. It's called the Dino skirt. I'm not sure if they still have that skirt for sale, but I really, really like that skirt, so I wanted to dupe it. I don't really even have a pattern in mind for it yet, so I'm just gonna have to look up a tutorial online to kind of achieve the vision of the Dino skirt. But as you can see, the pleats are pre-pressed into the fabric, which means that I don't have to sit there pleating the entire thing in order to achieve the look that I want. So this is pre-pleated chiffon. They have it in a million colors online, which is amazing. Again, at Mood Fabrics, their online web shop. And I'm pleased with how this looks. And if I like the skirt, I will probably order another couple yards. I got 2 yards. I'll probably order another couple yards to make a second one because this is kind of one of those wardrobe staple kind of skirts. So yeah, it is see-through. I have ordered a lining to go with it because this is a little bit too see-through to wear just as the skirt. If it was like ultra gathered, then maybe I could do that. But I'm not gonna make like a super gathered skirt. So I have ordered from Blackbird Fabrics, that's on its way. I've ordered some Bemberg Rayon in like this kind of copper color to go underneath it as the lining. Typically, I'm not super keen on silky fabrics for linings. I'm probably one of the only people that feels that way. I just don't like the feeling of silkies next to my skin. I don't like it. I much prefer cotton lining. So we'll see. When I get it, I'm gonna try it again, see if it's just the dress that I made it with before. And if I don't like it, then I'll just replace it with a like kind of dark coppery lining color. Maybe even something a lot darker than this one here because it looks darker on the camera, I feel, than it is in real life, but it is like kind of much oranger in person. So if I underlay it with something darker, like a dark brown, that might bring out the rustier tones more. Okay, my next fabric, and I have a prop here to show you, is 3 yards of this beige boucle. And here's what it looks like. It's like a textured, highly textured loop looking fabric. And you can probably guess what I'm going to make with this because these were so popular last year and I 100% jumped on that trend, the teddy bear coat. So I purchased this from a shop in Philadelphia last year around this time. And it was an unexpected, I even texted a few friends to ask them, should I get this? Do I like this? And I've ended up wearing it more than any other jacket ever since I bought it. It's so comfortable. It's lightweight. It's warm. It's just, I love this jacket. I love the length of it. It has kind of these 2 pockets on the top and 2 like welt pockets. But as you may or may not be able to tell, it's kind of hard to probably to see us on here, but it's getting in kind of like bad shape just because of all the wear that I put it through, and I wear it in the elements when it's raining, when it's snowing and stuff like that. I mean, it's not good enough for like hyper winter weather, but in those like in between seasons, it's a dream jacket and it's getting kind of matted. So I wanted to order fabric to make my own teddy bear jacket. I will say this is not as soft as that jacket is on the outside. It's not the teddy bear texture on the inside. I'd still have to order a lining to use with this, but it's still not as soft as that jacket. I like the look of it though, even though it is also a little bit lighter than I was expecting when I got it. So this is the only fabric in the batch that I'm considering returning just because I use this garment so much that I want it to be kind of perfect, and if it's not the perfect thing, sometimes I can live with it being just a little bit different, but I don't know, this one I'm kind of on the fence about. I don't dislike it, it's just not what I was expecting. I kind of want something even darker than that, like a chocolate brown, I think would look beautiful. So I'm kind of on the fence about this one, but I wanted to show it to you anyway. This is, again, a Boucle fabric. It's a polyester, acrylic, and wool mix. So it's probably not, I don't know actually how warm it's gonna be. I don't even know the fiber content of this one. I wonder if it says. Polyester, it's 100% polyester. So, and then the lining is 100% rayon. So it's not like, I mean, that one is really warm, so I guess this one would be the same. This one even has wool content in it. So I don't know, we'll see. If I can't find a suitable, I'll sit on this for a little bit, but if I can't find a suitable color online to replace it with, because I'm less concerned about the warmth and a little more concerned about, and the softness, and a little more concerned about the color. So if I can't find a suitable alternative online, then I'll just keep it. And again, I have 3 yards of that. That is the only fabric in my fabric.com haul that I don't have a pattern for. So if you guys have any suggestions for a good like jacket pattern, let me know in the comments below, or also like a cardigan pattern I think could work for it. It could be either lined or unlined. I think it would probably be better if it was lined though, so some sort of lined jacket. I'm really excited about that, so if you have an idea, let me know in the comments below, because that's one of the only ones I don't really know what pattern to make with it yet. And I'm not necessarily married to duping my current jacket. I really like that jacket. If it looks like that, great. But if it doesn't, that's fine too. So let me know what you think. All right, next up, I have 1.5 yards of this jersey knit stripe fabric. By the way, all of the fabrics that I talk about today are going to be in the description box below. I will have links to them. I can't promise that all of them will be in stock anymore, but I do know that fabric.com has been having some good sales lately, and none of these were like super duper expensive. The Boucle and one other one I show you were a little bit pricier than the others, but other than that, these were mostly like very affordable fabrics. So this is a jersey knit, a red, and it said off-white, but in person it's like, it's kind of, yeah, I guess a little slightly off-white. It's not like a crisp white, but just a red and white stripe jersey knit. And it says it has 40% stretch to it, so that's going to be really useful for a variety of stretch knit tops that I make. I have 1.5 yards of it. My favorite stretch knit top is the Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons, so that's definitely going to be a contender for this. My other one, and it's a recent purchase, is the Rayon bodysuit by Megan Nielsen Patterns. Oh, it's so good. It has that turtleneck option as well as a V-neck option, and then just kind of like a t-shirt kind of scoop option. So I loved all of the options that came with it. It's also a very size inclusive pattern, which is great. I was gonna purchase the Nico top by True Bias, and I really do love that pattern. She's also rolling out an extended size range for that pattern, but the Nico top requires a 70% stretch fabric, 70% four-way. And I was finding it very challenging to find fabrics in that 70% stretch range. So I went ahead and purchased the Rayon bodysuit instead because the 40% stretch requirement is much easier to find. I may still buy the Nico top pattern later on down the line, and if you had the Nico top and you've made it with fabrics that are not 70% stretch, let me know in the comments below, because I do love that pattern as well. But the Rayon bodysuit just has more neckline options, and yeah, so, and it was just, I feel like, easier to find fabrics for it. So I bought the Rayon bodysuit. That's one of the ones that I printed. So any of the stretch fabrics that you see are probably going to be either a Rayon bodysuit with the polar turtleneck neckline, or the Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons. So here's that fabric again. I really like this one a lot. I can't wait to sew this. I love stripes. This was my other expensive fabric, and I will say that, and by expensive, it was $24 a yard. I only bought 1 yard of it. I would have bought only a half yard of it if I could, but they didn't have that option on fabric.com. And I won't even say that it's worth it, because, let me see, I wrote down the blend. Let's see. On fabric.com, they call it a French Courchevel, and it's 95% polyester and 5% wool. So I can't say that this fabric for $24 a yard is really worth that price, considering it's not even much wool content. But I loved this large scale print. And what I want to do is make a really long scarf with it. Normally, like, fabric content is, I wouldn't say normally, I'm kind of just now starting to pay more attention to the fabric or the fiber content in the fabrics that I am using, because I can order a bunch of things in advance. In the garment district, it's harder to tell like what the fabric content actually is, but that is one of the luxuries of ordering online. So if I'm kind of like debating between two fabrics online and one has a more sustainable or more comfortable fiber content than the other, then I'll just pick the one with the better fiber content. But in this case, style won over, and I cannot wait to make like a really long scarf with this. And because I have a yard, I can probably make more than one. So maybe people will be getting some Christmas gifts out of this fabric. So I love that. I think it's gonna make a really cute scarf to like throw over my jackets, around my neck and over my jackets this winter. All right, next fabric. So if you watch previous episodes of Brooklyn Knitfolk, you'll know that I tried to make a red dress using a red rayon challis for the Loon dress by French Poetry Patterns, but it was an epic fail. I think it was just like a combination of not stay stitching the neckline, the fabric being hyper slippery. It just wasn't, it didn't work. And so unfortunately that garment is sitting in a timeout. It might be fixable, but I was just so angsty about it at the time that I didn't yet. But I've ordered another swath of red fabric, this time in a crepe. I have a lot of options for things I could do with this. I could make the Sicily slip dress, which is one of the patterns that I recently purchased, or had printed, I guess I should say. I could make the Amelie dress by Untitled Thoughts. That's another one that I just purchased that I'm really excited about. But I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the La Boheme skirt by Vanessa Pouzet. I'm really excited about this one. I actually purchased the full-length version of this pattern a long time ago. I struggled with it and messed up the fabric because the pattern instructions are only in French. So I'm sitting here trying to use Google Translate to figure it out. I'm also very early into my sewing, learning about sewing. So I think now that I have more of an idea and more experience, I'll be able to achieve a finished garment unlike the first time. So here's hoping, fingers crossed. So I really like this fabric. The color is like perfect. I think the first time that I tried to make the La Boheme skirt, I even made it in a red fabric, but the fabric was like this tomato red. It wasn't this kind of like ruby red. Isn't this so beautiful? Like this is exactly the kind of red that I would have wanted for it. So I'm really excited about this. And again, this is a Rayon Ruby Crepe, 100% rayon from fabric.com. Next one. This one is more of a stylistic option. I think it's so cute. I saw this in the bag and I saw it online, and it's even better in person than it was online. I love this print so much. So this right here is the Fab Trends Washer Ghost Textured Crepe in small floral. It comes in, I think, 3 different colorway options. This one is the pink with red flowers on it, and I bought 3.5 yards. I think it is so cute. I really, really love this. So for this one, I'm going to make, what did I write down here? I'm gonna make the Amelie dress by Untitled Thoughts, I'm thinking. None of these are set in stone. I've written it down kind of in this thing where I write down what the fabric is and how much I have of it and my pattern options. But right now I have this earmarked for the Amelie dress by Untitled Thoughts. I think it'll be super, super cute. I also have some patterns I'm going to show you at the end that just I'm kind of looking at right now. So if for some reason I don't make one of the ones that I've earmarked it for, I have these kind of other ones in queue that I'm thinking about that I really like as well. All right, this one, oh, this is gonna be such a fun one. I've had this idea in my head for such a long time, and so finally I've ordered the fabric to suit the pattern for what I kind of want to do. So this is called an Italian tropical wool suiting. I have no idea why it's tropical, but it is kind of hard to see, I think, on camera, but it's like a mini check, and it's olive and beige colored. Again, I think that's going to be kind of difficult to see on camera. It's 100% wool. I ordered 3 yards of it. That may be more than I need, but I kind of wasn't sure because I haven't made a quarter circle skirt before. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take McCall's M7777, and I'm going to use the bodice from this one. And I'm going to attach that to a quarter circle skirt, a quarter circle mini skirt. So it's going to be very 70s inspired. So with this deep V, and the quarter circle skirt, mini skirt, I'm going to be able to wear things like turtlenecks underneath it. So like in various colors. So like powder blue or mustard yellow, or I don't know. I'm just very excited to style this one. I've had this idea in my head for a really long time, so I'm excited to finally see it come to life. So that's my idea for this. McCall's M7777 with a quarter circle skirt added to it. And again, this is 100% wool, Italian wool, tropical suiting fabric. This next one is the same as the red stripe, except it's a black. So it's a black and off-white stripe. So this is gonna have the same pattern options as the red and white stripe, the Agnes top, or the Rayon bodysuit. Same exact fabric, just a different colorway, because I figure who doesn't need a black and white stripe in their life? And the stripe in this is subtle. Sorry, I was showing you the back of the fabric. It's not like a super white, it's an off-white, so it's a little more subtle. So I really like this a lot. It's got great stretch to it, stretch recovery in it. So I'm excited to work with these to see how they sew up. They're really soft. And then in that same vein, I ordered one of them. I searched for black jersey knit on fabric.com and then sorted by the most popular or the highest reviewed options, and this is one that came up, so I decided to give this one a try. This is also like so soft. And again, another Agnes top or a Rayon bodysuit. This one also has 40% stretch in it. It's a bamboo spandex, so it's like a, I think like 95% bamboo and 5% spandex or something like that, but it's really soft. I like this one a lot. As you can tell, I'm making kind of like a lot of wardrobe basics this fall. A lot of my basic like long sleeve black shirts or long sleeve shirts in general are really kind of dying on me right now, so I needed more of those. So rather than purchasing from ready to wear, I figured I would make them instead. And I feel like that's the kind of thing, if I make the same pattern for a few of those, I can batch cut them and then sew them in batches and have them ready all at once. So those are definitely some of my more higher priority sews, even if they aren't some of the sexiest or most appealing to sew at the moment, or like not as exciting, I guess, because I've made those patterns a few times, but they will definitely get a lot of use, so it's worth that investment in my time. All right, 2 more left. So this fabric is a Rayon challis, and it's born from, I love Windowpane prints. Windowpanes are like these, like this right here. Fabric.com calls it a check, but it's also called a Windowpane fabric. And this is born from a Pinterest thing that I saw that I really wanted to emulate. There's a girl wearing like a V-neck spaghetti strap jumpsuit. I won't be doing the jumpsuit. I'll do the V-neck spaghetti strap, but what I'm thinking I will do is the Pensy dress by Deer & Doe Patterns. I've made this before. It only comes in a short length, but I have made one before where I lengthened it. So I will definitely lengthen it into either a midi or a maxi length dress. I've always wanted a dress like this in my wardrobe, so I'm really excited to finally make that. So some sort of V-neck spaghetti strap with a skirt attached to it. And I think that the Deer & Doe Pensy dress will be perfect for it. And like I said, I've made that a couple times now, so I know that that one fits well and sews up really well. All right, last one. This is the Fabric Merchants Rayon Challis Ditzy Floral in Rust. And I ordered 4 yards of it. You can see it has this fantastic drape to it. And it's this rust color, small floral print. So excited about this. So this brand that I kind of discovered fairly recently called Rouge, they have this dress called the Gabbin dress, and I really like it. It's so similar, I feel, to Vogue V9251. So it's a kind of a wrap style dress, but it has the more fluted sleeve. The Gabbin dress is shorter, so I can just shorten it, and rather than having this rounded curve here that's on the bottom hem of the dress, I will just cut it straight instead. And then instead of the tie, well, the tie is kind of needed for functionality purposes to keep it closed. It uses buttons, so I may still have the tie, but I'm going to incorporate buttons along the edge of the wrap, just like the Gavin dress does. So I think this will be a good one. I don't have all the details sorted out yet for how to like dupe it, but I think this will be a good one to use for that. And that's it for all of the fabric. I'm really excited about these fabrics. This is, like I said, half of the fabric that I've ordered for my fall sewing. I have another order coming from Blackbird Fabrics, so when that order arrives, I'll be sure to show you those and the plans for those as well. I wanted to finish off this video by kind of showing you a few patterns that are either tried and trues or things that I'm really excited about making sometime soon and may end up using for some of these fabrics. We will see. The first one, I would be remiss if I'm not showing you this because I've made it 4 times and it's such a good pattern. Simplicity 8529, the toaster sweater of dreams. I'm telling you, you guys have to make this pattern. It's such a good one. So comfortable, so chic, so forgiving, great for beginners, super easy if you have an overlocker and you're wanting to try out your overlocker for the first time. This is a gem. You can still sew it on a sewing machine. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. 4 times that I've made that, and I wear them all very regularly in the fall and winter. Let's see, are any other tried and trues in here? No, there's not. These are just ones now that I'm kind of interested in making in addition to the other patterns that I've talked about today. McCall's M7974. I really want to make this. I bought this originally to make a top, but I mean, I really like the dress option as well. So that's definitely one on my radar. McCall's M8033. This one is one that Kristen of Windowpane destashed to me, and I've been wanting to make it ever since. I just like that scoop neckline and those sleeves. I may actually end up using this sleeve to add on to a different pattern that I'm working on right now. And then this one, McCall's M8162. I've been wanting to make this overalls pattern. I'm not really one for jumpsuits normally, but I just think that if I make this in like red and then have like that one of my striped shirts underneath it, like how cute would that be? So cute, right? So yeah, so those are patterns that are on my radar. Again, in addition to the others that I've mentioned, all of this will be linked down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. If you would please give this video a thumbs up. It helps other people find it in YouTube's algorithm, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.